As we look forward to the 800 CHAB Family First Radiothon, the 9th annual, it's my pleasure to welcome to the radio Mr. John Liguori, the Vice President of the new hospital, in charge of the new hospital project here in the Five Hills Health Region. There's been one man in charge from start, and there'll be one man in charge, I hope, when it's finished. John Liguori, how are things going?
Really well, Rob. Things are progressing well with the project, so we're quite happy with the progress to date.
And you'll be there when it's finished? Absolutely.
Yes, there's quite a few logistical things after we move into our new hospital that will require my attention, so I've committed to see them through.
Let's talk about the timeline. It was a huge election issue back in 2007, and that's when the Saskatchewan Party government, the Saskatchewan Party at the time, which would become government in 2007, committed to a new hospital here in Moose Jaw. So it's taken a few years, but once it was announced and once the plan became, once you got the green light, it's really come together quickly, sir.
Yes, essentially it's been 3 years. So the announcement was made in mid-April of 2012 by our health minister of the day and the premier. Mr. Wall was here as well for that. And about a year after that is when we began construction. Actually, the anniversary will be tomorrow, April 15th, 2013. And so here we are, 2 years after that, almost to the day, right? And our project will be construction complete by the end of May of 2015. So that's a pretty remarkable fast-track schedule. With the other upside of it is that we're on budget, which is always a great thing. I'm sure most folks are aware these days, large capital projects of this size typically are notoriously late. And also go way over budget. So we're pleased to say that hasn't been the case with our project. And also to note, that's not the case, not by luck. It was designed that way with some of the decisions we made on how we would deliver the project and the project delivery framework that we adopted, which is called Integrated Project Delivery. And the fundamental difference is on day one after the announcement that we were getting the new hospital, we put together an integrated team that included the main builder, the general contractor, the architects, the engineers, and the main subcontractor for mechanical electrical. And that was done right before design started, which means this is why we've had some of the success we've had both with the schedule and the budget, because traditionally what happens is you hire the architects, engineers first, and it usually takes about 2 years for a project this size to be designed. And when that's completed, then you go out to the marketplace and you try to hire your builder, your general contractor, and all the sub-trades to go with it. So that was a fundamental improvement, if I can use the word, in how we chose to deliver our project.
Let's talk about your role a little bit. You have these people in place. You have a team in place. How often do you get together? Is it daily? Is it weekly?
It's. I'm glad you asked that, Rob. We actually have what we call standard work, and so it's a combination. There's some weekly, some daily management that happens on site, but also the folks like me that are overseeing the project. The group is led by what we call the core group. And the core group is people like myself representing Five Hills. We have David Purdy, who's a representative from Saskatchewan Health's Capital Branch. And then we have very senior people from the architects, so from Stantec, from the construction side, Graham and Bolt, and also our major mechanical electrical subcontractor, Black & McDonald. And that group really is an integrated group that collaborates to make decisions collectively for the good of the project. And then there's an executive group that oversees us. So these are like the CEOs, like Cheryl Craig and Mrs. Craig from Five Hills Health Region. And there's an executive director at the ministry that also helps oversee this, including our partners. So it's quite unique that way in the way the project's organized, because typically there would be a steering group of some kind, and so it's much different than that traditional model.
And as people can see, the hospital has really come together. I mean, it's starting to physically look good. It's an exciting time.
It really is. We've started to do our final inspection, so there's actually the majority of the building is pretty much completed. So there's some areas that are still under sort of the last finishes in terms of construction. What our team did is they broke the area in what they call 20 tacked areas, and they started a deliberate kind of a flow or process where the trades aren't sort of, tripping over each other. So, for example, after the building was closed in, the crews that do the steel studs or the framing go in, and then the drywallers, and then the painters, and then the flooring people. And in between that, we have the plumbers, electricians doing their magic ongoingly at different phases of all those critical pieces. And the way they do that is they basically turn over an area to the next trade, or pass the baton on, if I can use sort of that analogy, and then they take over. And so that's why it was so efficient in terms of the timeline to get it done. It's better than the traditional way, but it certainly is a lot of work. And we've also had lots of challenges. When you have a project this size, not everything always goes 100%. But what's interesting with the process that we've chosen for the project is you're able to act quickly on anything that becomes an issue. And this integrated team that I talked about, it's not like 3-4 people. It's numerous people. Everybody has autonomy. Everybody's opinion counts. And so when we have issues, they're fast-tracked really fast, so that we're not holding up the work that's scheduled to go on for tomorrow or the next day. So it's been very interesting that way, and certainly an amazing learning opportunity for those of us from Five Hills, and I believe also our partners and colleagues from the Ministry of Health's Capital Branch, because it really is a new and fun way to work. It's as much hard work as it is. We've also had some successes and some fun along the way.
I'll give a little bit.